wackos, but that is changing thanks to some remarkable videotape and first-hand accounts from
There is not one shred of evidence anywhere. There is lots of evidence, tons of it in fact, that there are a group of people collectively known as the Illuminati who want us to believe in some extraterrestrial threat from space so that they can cause a world government.
decades, but they've always been dismissed, including by me, as the province of wackos. But that is changing thanks to some remarkable videotape and first-hand accounts from very sober people who are trained to identify aircraft. And that would include this video.
History is about to happen at a level that's almost incalculable, extraordinary, unprecedented. It makes something like the Roman Empire look trivial.
I do think that the world is ready for this knowledge. It would be the most revolutionary story in the history of mankind.
And you were abducted by aliens all that time ago?
Well, we were going fishing. We had got off work at the shipyard that evening, and a friend of mine and I decided to go fishing, and they floated over. They didn't walk, they floated.
That this is just another scam. This is the age of deception. There's no doubt about it.
Do you think there's life on other planets?
Oh, I don't know.
Would you like to think about it for a second?
Oh, not really.
Tell me, do you think there is life on other planets?
Well, I'm not quite sure, but I suppose there would be.
No, he seems definite. You seem definite about it. How do you see this life and where?
Oh, I've seen a flying saucer.
You've seen one?
Yes,
Where was
definitely. At Lane Cove.
When was this?
1953.
You don't think this is a figment of your imagination?
Several other people with me saw it.
You all had the same figment. What did it look like?
It was standing up there, still.
What they call UFOs, these craft that fly around the sky, are real. But they're not piloted by some little green guy from some other planet. They're owned and operated by the United States of America for one, the Soviet Union for another, probably Great Britain, Canada. I think the first really operable ones were probably manufactured in Western Canada.
And you think this was sent from another planet, do you?
I really do. Well, where else would it come from?
Well, the technology is real. It's been kept secret, and it's been used to promote this concept that there's an alien threat to this Earth. The cattle mutilations I've discovered in my research are nothing more than what's left after the government does its secret tests on the low-level radiation leakage from its atomic weapons assembly plants and atomic power plants.
The nations of the world will have to unite, for the next war will be an interplanetary war. The nations of Earth must someday make a common front against attack by people from other planets.
Something that we can't explain is happening.
That is correct. You're talking about individuals who have very high security clearances. They are trained observers. We've actually paid them and put them through schools to be trained and very keen observers to scrutinize what they're seeing. These are individuals who we trust to fly weapons platforms, sometimes with live munitions, over U.S. cities and to fight and win wars on our behalf. And they're reporting to us that they're seeing something that they can't explain.
That was 1955, October. I was 3 or 4 months old. And they already had this plan for a false flag or false INW threat from outer space.
Later on, they seen a mark on my arm, and I think that was kind of an injection site where they might have gave me something to settle me down.
Did they speak to you at all in any language or
any noises?
Well, they did have kind of a hissing noise.
I think there is life on other planets.
And how do you see this life? How do you visualize it yourself?
It's rather like queer-looking people.
Queer-looking people? They're totally different from the people on Earth?
I suppose so.
Uh-huh. Would you like to get up there yourself and see it on Venus?
Not particularly.
Why not?
Because I like it down here. I reckon there is.
What makes you reckon that?
Well, I don't know, it's not imagination, it's just what,
You're being led by scientific discoveries, etc.
Yes.
Yeah, well, how do you see this life? If you think there is life up there, how do you see it? What form do you think it takes?
Animal, because we're animals, aren't we?
Well, some of us.
Yes.
Speak for yourself. I mean, how do you see them up there, though?
Oh,
I mean, the same as here? You think land on Venus would discover people like you?
No.
Totally different.
It all depends what atmosphere they're living in. I think it'd be an animal form, but I don't think it'd be like us.
Do you think that's a good thing?
Well, I don't know.
Would you like to get up there and find out for yourself?
Definitely.
Would you?
To right
Would you
I would.
volunteer for this?
To right I would. I'd like to be the first woman in space.
But over the years, I've done a lot of research. And what I've discovered is there's no proof existing anywhere that extraterrestrials are real, or that have ever visited this planet, or that they exist anywhere in the universe.
About Area 51 and the UFOs, and I go through everything to find out what happened. Right. Did you do that?
That's why you will not be president. Because that's the first thing that you would do.
I occasionally think how quickly our differences worldwide would vanish if we were facing an alien threat from outside this world.
Bringing together of all the people to resist that external threat.
Yes. The only way we can live together in peace is that if we're at war with someone else. I mean, this is, of course, batshit crazy.
ATIP may be clues that there's an agenda here. This may be government trying to slowly drip feed this information out to the public in such a way that there won't be out and out panic. It may be a way of slowly but surely acclimatizing people to the reality of this phenomenon.
Or the famous weapons of mass destruction that Saddam Hussein had, which were to justify us going into Iraq, which gave us ISIS. It's all hoaxed. And so you have people who are continuously creating hoax scenarios. And this has actually got a very military-sounding, bureaucratic term, and it's called a deceptive indication and warning, or a false INW. And that's what the pop culture would call a false flag.
It's what it is. It's not extraterrestrials coming down. The human body cannot pass through walls and roofs, or through windows that are closed. This is all the product of the imagination and people's willingness to believe something because they want it to be true. I don't know why they would want it to be true. You see, because if it were true, these are not friendly aliens. They're doing some terrible things to people. If I were to kidnap somebody, pass them up through the roof, take them somewhere, perform operations on them, and take samples of semen and ova from their reproductive organs, and plant thoughts in their mind and all this kind of stuff, and then bring them back, guess where I'd be right now? In prison. That's kidnapping.
So that, hey, if they're coming,